I've dedicated myself to my passion and my curiosity.
Your future career, your trajectory, your interests.
I could see the gap in lifestyle and my mental approach to a lot of old problems.
Becoming more intentional about the type of person you want to become.
And if you continue to surround yourself with a certain energy and a certain mind state,
You could still stay in the hood, but bro, do better.
have something to look forward to, have something that's pulling you in a direction.
There's a disparity between people saying you've changed, but you feeling like you've grown. It's just like, bro, do you expect me to stay where I'm at with you and just stay in the hood?
Especially where we came from. I could imagine if you lived in a cul-de-sac, you had two parents at home, joint income. You mentioned this on the risk versus reward episode we did. I think it's episode 4. Having all that support is beautiful, but we didn't necessarily have that. So why would we want to still be like everybody that we came from? Knowing, this most important part, knowing where we came from wasn't the best place.
Yeah, bro, that is such a mentality shift. I mean, you work in the entertainment industry. How many times have you heard the narrative, oh, this dude left the hood and he's changed, right?
100%. Bro.
Nipsey was literally 10 toes down and created a store in his own neighborhood to show that he was still around
And where did he get killed?
in his own hood. Was he expected not to grow? That's a very unique situation.
There's a lot of truth there though, Rich.
Yeah, that happens more often than not, where people from back home will see someone reach success and be like, oh, he's a sellout. Oh, he's never coming back to the hood, or what has he done for us lately? It's crazy because when you were coming up and you weren't a nobody, you had all the support of the hood. But once you moved out and you sort of like created that distance with everyone, now you're looked at as a sellout. And it's just a weird mentality shift that happens where people in the hood feel like you're just supposed to stay with them. Even if they're struggling, it's like, bro, if we're drowning, you have to drown with us. Like, this weird mental shift.
Do you think most people know they're drowning? It's really hard to think back to when we were 18 to 24. I could be honest, I always had the feeling, even though I didn't have much knowledge outside of the neighborhood we grew up in and a very hood-ass family that I came from, I've always had the knowledge just from watching like TV shows or social media that there was a lot more going on outside. We didn't have access to it. And I think that was always my goal, that I just wanted to see more and do more and give myself a shot. I wanted an opportunity to not live in the pain and in the day-to-day bullshit that you kind of grow up in when you come from these places. To say you changed, to me, at some point turned into a compliment, where I was like, shit, I mean, I've read all these books, I've watched all these documentaries, I've dedicated myself to my passion and my curiosity, which was music and developing a media company and a radio show. It's almost a compliment for somebody to say you changed, even though you're right, what they want to say is you've grown. But it felt like a compliment, but I didn't necessarily always see it that way, you know? And it didn't take until maybe 4 or 5 years that I had already left to New Brunswick and I was at Rutgers, and then eventually I moved to Midtown Manhattan and I was there for a few years. It didn't hit me until I could see the gap in lifestyle and my mental approach to a lot of old problems. OG Justin would approach hood problems in a very hood way, and it got down to very simple things like delayed gratification, or how I went about going to bed earlier so I could wake up earlier and get a fresh start on my day. Actually, I do remember my second year in Rutgers inviting all the homies from back home to a party at the college campus with a lot of my new college friends. Bro, my boys were wildin'. I could see the difference between my newer friends and these more responsible, because they had something to lose. I think that's another important point. These guys had something to lose versus the homies from back home that were just coming to mob out and like fuck up the couches, fuck up the furniture, drinking liquor, stealing shit from people's rooms, and me having a little huddle with my boys being like, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? And then being like, bro, look at this guy. This guy swears he's fucking white. You know what I mean? Like bro, y'all are on some other shit. But they weren't on some other shit. That's just pre-programming. That's just who they were.
Yeah, I love that story. I was just about to say that I think that this distance and disparity starts when you go off to college, right? Because that's the first place where you're laying down the foundation of what your future life is going to be like, your future career, your trajectory, chemistry, your interests are starting to become more crafted, and you're becoming more intentional about the type of person you want to become. Yeah, there's a big difference when you go off to college and you're in a university, and the amount of access you have to different hobbies, different people, and even the parties, like you suggested, even the parties are different, right? Like a party in the hood and a college party are two completely different parties.
Yeah, the drugs are different. The extreme situations, if shit pops off in a hood party, it can really go down. Like
Yeah.
lives could be at risk at a
Yeah.
party back home. Bro, how often do we get reports from back home that dumb shit still be happening? Versus kids that got a lot to lose. This is where I can see people from Hudson County being like, who the fuck does Rich and Justin think they are? That they can make a show topic like this. That they believe that there's this huge gap between who they are and who they were. I'm still conflicted, man. This is really a tough subject to like not seem like you're banging your chest and being arrogant about who you are currently. But I do think there is a mind state that does change once you start putting yourself around different people. And I do think that is good advice for our younger viewers and listeners. You are what you surround yourself with. And if you continue to surround yourself with a certain energy and a certain mind state is from where you come from, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you yearn for more, if you want more, if you desire more, if you're curious about what's going on outside of your local neighborhood, you're not limited to where you were born. People are just born in certain places. You don't have to stay there forever. Who the fuck says you have to stay in the hood? I don't understand that. There's a Jay-Z line. The summary of the line is like, if you don't own anything on the block you come from, that block ain't yours. This language about this is where we're from, this is our block. It's like, no the fuck it ain't. You don't own any real estate on that block. That just so happens to be where you were born from. That was always confusing to me, and I didn't realize that till I got older.
Yeah, I don't think that this is limited to geographical location. I know we're conflicted on this, but I think simply put, if you take someone's 10-year resume of what they've done from year 1 to year 10, how many things have changed within that decade? That's what we're questioning, right? For you and I, there's 50 data points that have changed from year 1 through year 10. It's on the graph, it's like constant progression, right? You look at some of the folks back home and it's been like up, down, straight, up, down, straight. And that chart is just like, bro, you haven't outgrown yourself. You haven't matured. You haven't improved from year 1 through year 10. Naturally, we're on two different frequencies, right? So that's sort of the separation that I think that happens. I say that it's not a geographical location thing because my girl just told me that, hey, do you remember that janitor that we used to have in high school? And, I remembered his name. I was like, yeah, I remember. He was cool. She's like, yeah, he's the vice principal of my school now. I'm like, damn. That's dope. In my mind, I'm like, bro, I don't know what this guy did to go from sweeping the hallways of a high school to becoming a vice principal of an elementary school. But bro, salute to you. You didn't leave the environment, but in your own way, you had a glow up, right? You went to school, you got the college credits needed to become a elementary school admin. Like you did that shit, and kudos to you. That's just one example of like why it's not a geographical location. You could still stay in the hood, but bro, do better, or at least want to do better.
Aspire for more. Have something to look forward to. Have something that's pulling you in a direction. But that's a whole other episode. Rich, I want to go through a few common phrases that I was remembering that we probably heard most of our lives, and the person listening to this episode right now probably is hearing now. Let me know if any of these phrases trigger you or anything comes to mind. Yo, look at this dude. He's acting brand new. Yo, don't forget where you came from. Make sure you remember me. Don't forget about the little people. This is my favorite right here. Usually hear this at a cookout or a family function. Yo, man, how you been, bro? Nah, I'm just trying to get like you, big dog. Oh, man. Let me know if you've heard any of those in your life and what comes to mind.
Yeah, I'll throw another one in there. Damn, this guy's Hollywood now. That's a big one. It's Hollywood. Especially you that you moved to California. Is like Hollywood
literally,
Justin, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
Now I only do my Instagram posts with the Hollywood hashtag because I'm out here.
Yeah, I think those comments, I hear them all the time, especially from my own family and friends.
Oh, you
I
do?
think those, yeah, for sure.
Now?
Yeah, and I think it's a playful way to just them acknowledging that you're doing well. I don't think that there's any malice by the comments, at least from my friends. I think it's just a way of making light of like them saying, yo, I see you, right? Like you're chasing your dream.
You did the thing where you turned it into a compliment. That's actionable advice. You do it by mistake, but that's really something you flipped in your brain a long time ago. You're like, yo, they're gonna throw arrows, but I'm always gonna take it gracefully.